If you could dunk on one NBA player, who would it be?
It'd probably be like LeBron, up for debate for the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He's personally not mine.
Cooper Flagg has always made it clear that LeBron James isn't his GOAT. That's nothing new. But what he just dropped is messy, unexpected, and turning heads fast. Out of nowhere, he exposed a brutal truth about LeBron and revealed why so many around the league can't stand him. Let me break it down. Why NBA players hate LeBron James' early animosity. I think it's safe to say LeBron is one of the most disliked NBA players today. But according to Cooper, the tension may have started the moment he entered the league. Back in 2003, an 18-year-old LeBron James walked into NBA locker rooms as the most hyped prospect since Michael Jordan. The expectations were sky high. The media attention was nonstop, and the pressure was unlike anything the league had ever seen. But here's what most people don't realize. His own teammates were rooting against him from day one.
Well, I knew he was the real thing when he came in. It was just a matter of time to when he was going to pick up and when he was going to actually learn.
Paul Silas, LeBron's rookie coach, revealed that some Cavaliers players were jealous of LeBron's hype and success. In a shocking revelation, Silas noted their egos wouldn't allow it. I kept telling them, "You have a chance to help one of the game's future stars," but they wouldn't embrace him. This wasn't just typical rookie hazing. This was something deeper, something more personal. Before the 2003 NBA draft, Carlos Boozer, a forward on the Cavaliers, publicly stated that Cleveland already had better players than LeBron in his position, expressing skepticism about LeBron's immediate impact. But perhaps the most telling revelation came from LeBron himself years later. In a moment of rare vulnerability, he opened up about those early days. Teammates that I had to be on the floor with, practicing with, on the planes with, in the locker room, in game situations, had this kind of, you don't want to say hate, but had this kind of animosity towards me and what I could provide. Think about that for a moment. An 18-year-old kid thrust into the spotlight, dealing with grown men who resented his success before he'd even played a single NBA game. Veterans like Eric Snow, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and Jeff McInnes did not fully support him, likely due to jealousy over his media attention and expectations. One of the most telling examples of this early animosity came from Ricky Davis, the team's leading scorer before LeBron's arrival. Davis, a guard who wanted to remain the primary scoring option, played only 22 games in the 2003-04 season before being traded to the Boston Celtics, suggesting friction with LeBron's rising prominence.
Difference in being great and learning the NBA game. And him coming in at an early age, I don't think he was ready fully his rookie year as he is.
Matchup was him and Paul George. Cool, y'all got that. So we in transition. George Hill run to the corner. I run with George Hill. Paul George stop at the wing and shoot the three. And Brown guard him. Okay. That's all I say on the court. So we get back to the bench. I'm like, losing. All this we doing. We got to stop acting like just play back.
Davis later provided insight into the mindset of that era, explaining the culture clash that LeBron represented. The NBA at that time, as Davis put it, stood for no boys allowed. And here was LeBron changing that dynamic completely. This pattern of jealousy and resentment wasn't limited to Cleveland. It was a phenomenon that would follow LeBron throughout his career, manifesting in different ways with different teammates and opponents. The foundation was set. LeBron James wasn't just a basketball player. He was a disruptor, someone who challenged the established order simply by existing.
But why?
Why did grown men, professional athletes at the highest level, harbor such animosity toward a teenager who was just trying to make it in the league? The answer lies in the complex psychology of professional sports, where ego, competition, and survival instincts create a perfect storm of conflict. The Cavaliers roster during LeBron's early years included veterans who were accustomed to being the focal point of the team. LeBron's arrival as the #1 draft pick, coupled with the chosen one narrative, created a dynamic where some teammates felt overshadowed, leading to reported envy and a lack of camaraderie. This wasn't just about basketball. This was about identity, about relevance, about the fear of being forgotten. When someone comes in with the kind of hype that LeBron had, it doesn't just affect the starting lineup. It affects everyone's perception of their own value and place in the hierarchy. The media attention was unprecedented. Every move LeBron made was dissected, analyzed, and broadcast to millions. Meanwhile, players who had been grinding in the league for years suddenly found themselves as footnotes in the LeBron James story. The resentment was inevitable, and it was personal. What makes this story even more compelling is how this early animosity created a ripple effect that would follow LeBron for the rest of his career. The explosive confrontations, if you thought the rookie year tensions were intense, you haven't seen anything yet. As LeBron's career progressed and his influence grew, the animosity didn't just persist. It exploded into public confrontations that would make headlines and create lasting feuds. This is where our story gets really interesting because we're not just talking about locker room grumbling anymore. We're talking about players calling each other out on national television, heated exchanges that nearly led to physical altercations, and moments that revealed the true depth of resentment toward LeBron James. One of the most shocking revelations came from an unexpected source: Mario Chalmers, LeBron's teammate during the Miami Heat championship runs.